I loved my neighbor, but she was already married. The first time I realized I loved her, it wasn't during a dramatic moment or a stolen glance in the rain. It was a quiet morning, the kind that slips past most people unnoticed. I was standing by my window, coffee growing cold in my hand, watching her water the small plants outside her door with a care that felt almost sacred. The sunlight caught in her hair, and in that instant, a heavy truth settled into my chest. I loved my neighbor. And she was already married. That realization hit harder than any heartbreak I had known, because it came with no anger, no betrayal, only silence, restraint, and a pain I was never allowed to confess. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that touch the soul, please take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who believes love can be selfless, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories like this one. I had moved into that neighborhood trying to escape my past. A failed relationship, a job that drained the color from my days, and the growing fear that life was quietly passing me by had pushed me to start over in a small, ordinary place. The house was modest, the street calm, and the people polite but distant. She lived next door, and at first, she was just another neighbor. A brief nod while collecting mail, a passing smile while taking out the trash. Nothing more. Nothing dangerous. Over time, those small moments became familiar. I learned her routines without trying to. Early mornings when she left for work, evenings when she returned with tired shoulders and a gentle patience written across her face. Her husband was rarely around, always busy, always somewhere else. When he was present, he seemed kind enough, though distant, as if life had already pulled him into a direction she hadn't fully followed. From the outside, they looked like any other married couple, stable, respectable, complete. And that was exactly why I kept my distance. But loneliness has a way of opening doors you swear you'll never walk through. Slowly, naturally, our lives brushed against each other. A shared power outage that left the street dark and quiet. A neighborhood event where we both ended up sitting alone. Casual conversations that stretched a little longer each time. I found myself looking forward to those moments more than I should have. Her laughter stayed with me long after she went back inside her home. Her kindness made my empty house feel warmer, even when she wasn't there. The hardest part wasn't falling in love. The hardest part was knowing I had no right to it. Every feeling I carried felt like a secret I was ashamed of. I told myself it would pass, that time would dull it, that I would meet someone else. I tried distractions. Longer work hours, late night walks, even forced smiles during dates that never led anywhere. But love doesn't listen to logic. It doesn't care about rules or timing. It simply grows, quietly, painfully, in places it shouldn't exist. There were moments that tested me. Times when she seemed overwhelmed, when life pressed too heavily on her shoulders, and I wanted nothing more than to reach out, to offer comfort beyond friendly concern. I could see it in her eyes sometimes, the loneliness she never spoke of. That made it worse. Because loving someone who is unavailable is one thing. Loving someone who might need you is another kind of torture altogether. I became my own battlefield. Every interaction required restraint. Every smile had to be measured. Every thought corrected before it went too far. I hated myself for feeling this way, even though I had done nothing wrong. I never crossed a line. I never confessed. I never allowed myself to imagine a future that didn't belong to me. Still, guilt followed me everywhere, whispering that even silent love could be a betrayal. Life, however, has a way of forcing change. Her marriage began to show cracks, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet erosion that comes from years of being unheard. I noticed the difference before anyone else. The way she walked slower. The way her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. The way she lingered in conversations, as if dreading the moment she had to return home. I reminded myself that this was none of my business. That empathy did not give me permission. Then came the night everything shifted. A storm rolled through the neighborhood, fierce and unforgiving, knocking out power and flooding streets. I saw her standing outside in the rain, helpless, her home dark. Without thinking, I helped. Not as a man in love, but as a neighbor, a decent human being. That night was filled with silence more than words. No boundaries were crossed, yet something unspoken hung heavy between us. When the lights finally returned, so did the distance. And I knew then that this situation couldn't continue as it was. I made a decision that broke my own heart. I began pulling away. Fewer conversations, shorter interactions, polite distance. She noticed, of course. Anyone would. And watching confusion replace familiarity on her face felt like punishment I had willingly chosen. But loving someone sometimes means removing yourself from their life, even when it hurts. Months passed. The neighborhood changed with the seasons, but something inside me remained stuck. I focused on rebuilding myself instead. I worked on my health, my career, my sense of purpose. I learned to sit with my emotions instead of running from them. Loving her had taught me something unexpected, that I was capable of deep, patient, selfless love. And that realization changed me. Then, one evening, I learned she was moving away. Her marriage had ended, not with chaos but with acceptance. Two people choosing peace over pretense. She came by to say goodbye. There was sadness, relief, and gratitude in her eyes. For the first time, I felt no guilt standing there. Just respect, for her, for myself, for everything we had never said. She left, and with her went the version of me who loved silently from the shadows. I didn't chase her. I didn't confess what could no longer be changed. Because some love isn't meant to be claimed. Some love exists to teach us who we are, what we value, and how deeply we can feel without asking for anything in return. Life didn't suddenly become perfect after that. But it became honest. I carried the lesson forward into new relationships, into friendships, into the way I treated myself. I learned that love doesn't always arrive to stay. Sometimes it arrives to shape you, to humble you, to remind you that doing the right thing can be the most painful choice of all. If this story is touching your heart right now, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who understands quiet love, and subscribe to the channel so more stories like this can reach people who need them. And before this story ends, I have a special request for you. Please comment below and tell us, do you believe love is proven more by what we do, or by what we choose not to do? Today, when I walk past that old house, I don't feel regret. I feel gratitude. Because loving my neighbor, even when I never held her hand or spoke my truth, taught me the purest form of love I've ever known. A love that didn't take. A love that didn't destroy. A love that let go.